Hello and welcome back to Tactical Waffle. It's been a long while since I've shown my face on the podcast, so I thought I would just come back in today to talk about what we would normally is the firing of another Chelsea manager and the beginning of the Xavi Alonso era. I'm so excited to be able to share my opinion with the listeners. Um, First of all, as neutrals to Chelsea Football Club, what do you make of signing of Alonso as manager? What do you make of it as a group?
I think you've somehow done really well out of that. I don't know how you've managed to get Xabi Alonso after like succeeding Rosenior.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very good manager, but he's also inexperienced. So you just never know with Xabi Alonso, really.
Yeah, it's true.
You'll never know what you're going to get
No,
as a first time in the Prem.
I mean,
There's
he's
all
proven he's a
sorts
good
of
manager.
results. Yeah, and it's finally a manager that I can say confidently that I have a blind bit of faith in as a Chelsea fan, considering what have been made of our recent appointments, i.e., the seniors of the world, the Marescas of the world. I think that having this now, having Alonso, who's been known to win some things in some games and in big competitions, like he has done in Germany, he went undefeated in the Bundesliga. I think it's a great. I think it's a great appointment. I think it's a really smart piece of business from Chelsea. I think having having him be also a young manager suits the timeline of how Chelsea plays, and who we've got on our team, the youth. Obviously, being a Bowley club, we're going to be filled with young players. So it's nice
Yeah,
to have someone who matches the timeline as such with his players. Um, it will mean hopefully very attacking football, and the fullbacks will be used religiously. It's what I'm hoping for, at least, anyway. Um, but there's a lot of good things to be made of this hire. I think he's probably the best manager we could have got, judging by the epitome of a mid manager. Marco Silva has been mentioned in trying to hire. We had Iriola, who has joined Liverpool last few days, which I think is another talking point. I don't know if it was spoken about before, but um, there's a couple of candidates out there that I wouldn't have been mad at. I'd have been a bit annoyed with Marcus Silva, but I think Xavi Alonso is probably about as good as we could have got in terms of manager. Stylistically, it has its question marks. I think
yeah,
some players will benefit and some players will not.
So you need
Um,
centre backs.
One high quality centre back.
Yeah.
Will they end up being who we sign? Probably not. Probably not. Apparently, according to Clearlake, they've decided to change the business model this year because they've seen that fans are upset with the players that they are signing. So let's hope they listen to their fans and actually give us players that we want to have playing for our football club. High quality defenders, midfielders who I'm going to have to talk about a certain Chelsea midfielder in a second, and attackers to support Pedro, Palmer, Neto, Esteval, etc. But he will bring his own very unique style of football. I think the fact that Real Madrid got rid of him was a bit harsh, but
Well, it was proved
um,
by the Arbeloa era that Xabi Alonso weren't actually doing that bad.
Madrid's loss is our gain, and it will be up to him to decide who replaces Enzo Fernandez, who is most likely going to leave Chelsea at the end of the summer. Did I want him to leave? I was a bit tentative, but I don't think he worked in the Rossignol, the Maresca systems. I don't think he works in either of those systems. And there are certain players who I think would fit better. Enzo's also outwardly spoken about wanting to leave Chelsea, which I can understand from a Chelsea fan's perspective why he would want to do so. Like the club is not in the best position structurally, in my opinion. But I don't think, at least for what Xabi Alonso wants to do and his style of football, I don't think he works very well with that. I personally, you don't want to tell Cody this. I personally want Adam Wharton. I want Adam Wharton to be Chelsea's big signing this summer because I think he would be perfect playing that role. Will we get him? I don't know. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he stayed at Crystal Palace. I think Anson's
Mm.
more of a surefire to leave Forest than Wharton is Palace.
I was just saying Morton over Anderson. You'd sign.
But yeah, Eddie Anson's clear. I will die on that hill. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see what archetype of player he asks for and what he asks the players and in what formation we're going to be playing. Will it utilise our best strengths? Will it get the best out of Palmer like it did of a Vert? Or will it get the best out of James to be like a highly attacking, highly productive winger, like a wing back, like a Frimpong was, or a
Yeah.
Grimaldo was? That will be the interesting thing. And also see if he brings anyone over from a Leverkusen or perhaps a Madrid. See what he does with that. But I'm honestly quite pleased that Chelsea have made, in my opinion, the correct decision with who they signed because it could have been so much worse. Like we've had Rossignol, it could have been awful, but I'm really pleased with how it's gone, and I want to see how he builds off of this with the 6 players that are signed that are joining Chelsea from seasons past. I know Barco's already been confirmed. I think he'll be good depth in our midfield. I do sort of think he could also play a bit of left mid, much like he used to do with Brighton, playing left back.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of stuff to look forward to with Chelsea. I also wanted to talk about. I also want to talk about Spurs. Actually, Lewis, if I saw you today at work. To be fair, I wasn't going to stop you, but
Do you see how miserable I was?
yeah, you were plodding around like you didn't
Oh,
want to be there.
it was miserable. But yeah, carry on. What about
What do you make of the 2 signings? I think my opinion, the signing of Snetti is a very intelligent signing. I think it's really, really, really smart to have him signed and to have a player of that level be on your team. I think he'll be perfect for a back 3 if they want to play the 3. Because I'd imagine he'd be in the middle. There'd be Romero on the right and Van de Ven on the left if they're going to play a back 3. But I don't know what they're going to do. But even for depth, we saw with Spurs that centre backs was an area of depth that they didn't have, and I think they'll benefit from it really well. And Andy Robertson is experienced. Adogi's only got like 1 working leg muscle, so I doubt he plays a full season. I don't think he has played a full season since joining Spurs.
first year? It was
Um,
a full year. He survived
but ever
the
since
whole
then,
first
it's
season.
not been great. But I still think Robertson is a great leader. He's a really, really nice person from what I've seen. And he's one of the best crossers of the ball in the Premier League, or at least was, or historically has been. So I think that's a really good addition to you. But I want to know what your take is and what you think De Zerbi will do in the summer to bring the best out of what he's got, and in terms of any targets he might have for the summer.
I'm really happy that we're doing business early, getting 2 very good free signings in.
Established
yeah.
names as well.
Like yeah, both established Prem players. Cover for Van de Ven, who can't play week in week out.
No.
If we want him to do a lot of running,
you reckon he'd stay though, Van der Ven?
So
Yeah.
apparently he's proper U-turn and he wants to stay.
Oh,
Since the appointment of
Deserving.
De Zerbi.
I mean that's really
Which-
surprised me because for a player like Van der Ven, surely he'd want to be playing in Europe.
I mean, I think he knows that we can get back into Europe quickly
Yeah,
if everything goes right. So I think he'll do one more year and see where we're at.
yeah, maybe, yeah,
Because we've got the resources, we've got the young talent. We just need the system
Yeah.
and the experience.
yeah,
Like we've got foundations. We just need to put it all together, which we've struggled with since probably since Poch left.
yeah. And even then, I still think getting rid of Poch is probably Spurs' biggest ever mistake.
Oh, 100%.
Because I mean, he quite literally got you to a Champions League final, and he's doing really well with the US men's national team now. So
Yeah. Well, I
um,
mean, he got us to the Champions League final, and literally the following season he didn't even complete. Like, I think I've always said the biggest thing was the move from White Hart Lane into the new stadium. Obviously,
yeah,
we had troubles at Wembley. We kind of found our feet eventually at Wembley when we moved in there for a bit, but we had big troubles at Wembley, and then moved into a new stadium. We've not really had it been obviously it's very much been seen the last 2 seasons, but we've not
yeah,
really made it a home yet,
no,
which hopefully that'll come with time and the right manager.
yeah. And like a manager like De Zerbi, like having got Brighton to Europa League a couple of years back and having done really well with Marseille, I think he probably is one of the best managers you could have brought in. And I feel like Spurs need a manager like that because I mean he sort of encourages high pressing a lot. He plays a sort of very pressing, positive style of football, which is kind of what Tottenham need.
Well, I mean, we played our best football under Ange when we were good pressing at the front.
Yeah,
I remember watching us play Brentford, and I think we won 3-2 or 3-1. We won, and the first two goals we went 2-0 up, and they um both come from pressing high, which we like. We've missed that recently. The best player we had for that was Kulusevski. If it's not Kulusevski, then it is Richarlison, probably our best presser of the ball. I mean, even Solanke's really good at it.
yeah.
Like Solanke does that really well and does the hold up play really well.
But the thing is,
Which
another thing that Solanke and Richarlison have in common is that their end product's really, really inconsistent. And I feel like that's
yeah,
one of the main things that Tottenham are kind of missing, like a sort of 15, 20 goal a season striker like when Harry Kane was there.
yeah, no, we definitely have been missing that. I mean, we were never going to replace Harry Kane.
Oh
That
God,
that
no.
that was never going to happen. But Richarlison proves that he can be the goal scorer we need him to be, but he's just not athletic enough
No.
to keep running in behind.
Has the Maresca hire been made official now?
Not yet, but it's meant to be announced soon. I'm not entirely sure when, but yeah.
And how confident are you in this? And what do you think of this hire if it happens?
I mean, Maresca's proved he's a good manager. He's worked at the club before, so he knows the ins and outs. Like he's worked with a lot of the players that are still at the club. What and he plays a similar style to Pep, but it's the thing is, it would be a miracle if he comes anywhere close to what Pep did. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But I'm hoping he does well.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think it's probably the best manager you could have got in that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
I'm struggling to see where Iriola takes that step up, as
I
a
mean,
lot of managers have struggled.
the things with Iriola is that he's very similar to a lot of gegenpress style managers, where like obviously at Bournemouth last season, he encouraged a lot of sort of get the ball back, just press as much as you can, and then score goals from it.
Yeah,
And Liverpool don't really have players that press the ball that often. Like they're very much sort of get the ball on the half turn and make things happen.
it's
But
also very hard to be that high pressing side when you are going to have a lot of the ball.
yeah, and the thing is, like Iraola's style of football is, I mean, dare I say, very similar to the way Jurgen Klopp used to play. Like, obviously, very much sort of like I say, gegenpressing, where you just sort of get the ball back and then create chances from making the other team scared, essentially.
Yeah.
But the one thing that Iraola needs to do is bring in players. Well, he might even bring in a couple of players from Bournemouth, but he needs to bring in players that can actually suit the style of that style of football. Because you look at Liverpool's team at the moment, and you couldn't really name me many players that could actually make it work in that system. Maybe Szoboszlai, because he can work in most systems really, and he's
Yeah.
shown how versatile he is. But you look a lot. You look at a lot of Liverpool's team, and like I say, they just sort of they suit possession based styles of play a lot more. I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just like look for it. Like I think Ekatike maybe can do the pressing. I think he did it a few times this season, showed that he could do it.
Yeah.
But like Gakpo will not press.
No.
And Gakpo's got to go anyway from that Liverpool squad.
Yeah. But
I saw something earlier saying Tottenham were interested in Gakpo.
really,
I think I nearly cried.
Age and 18.
but the thing is,
I
you look at other players in that team. Like, for example, Rio Wengamoa, like he's obviously very talented, really, really good with the ball. He was actually very good yesterday against New Zealand
yeah,
for
I think he had
England.
a really good game.
And but he's another one of those players where if he gets on the ball, great, but he's not really a willing presser, if that makes sense.
No.
And I feel like Liverpool need to sort of, like I said, bring in players that can actually suit that system.
Yeah, I mean, you need those players that it's always great when they're also good on the ball,
Yeah,
but like where we had like I'm losing my words here, where we have Richarlison, where we had Brendan Johnson, we had players that are willing to work hard all game with
yeah,
no reward.
yeah,
Like Richarlison against City, the first time we played you this year when we beat you 2-0. Richarlison all game was just doing runs for
yeah,
no reason, like for a reason, but it really felt like he didn't care if the ball come his way or not. He was going to
mm,
make those runs anyway, and
yeah,
you need like those selfless runners constantly. You know, I think Liverpool lacks that massively.
yeah. And I'll tell you what, one player that would suit this Iraola style of play perfectly is like a Sadio Mane type player. Like obviously he was very very good with the ball, like one of the best in the world in his prime. But he was also just willing to press the ball and like just constantly for 90 minutes win the ball back and create
Quite a
chances
work
out of it.
spot. You had Salah, you had Firmino, you had Mane chasing the ball, and they
Yeah,
pinned teams into their own half, and they were brilliant at it. They did all of them. All of them did it. That front 5 or 6 players did it,
yeah,
and that was what got them the turnovers in possession that they had, and which spurred their amazing football.
yeah. But
Right.
even then, you look at that Liverpool team back then, and like in the midfield, you obviously had Henderson, who was very good in his prime. You had Fabinho, and you had Wijnaldum. All of them were willing pressers, and like all three of them weren't the most technical of the ball, but they were willing to work for each other, and I think that's what made Liverpool so good back then. Like they suited the style of play, like just really really well because obviously their sort of endurance was one of the best in the league, and they were also just like I said, they were just willing to play off each other.
Yeah, I mean you see with Arsenal off the ball, like Erdegaard is a willing presser.
Right.
Yeah,
Rice will press for days. Like even Havertz, great presser. Like
yeah.
you need those players.
I don't suppose it's appropriate for me still to give my opinion on the Champions League final, considering it's already been a bit of time. I
Go on,
thought
indeed.
it was exactly what I thought, what we all thought it would be. It's the best attack in the world versus the best defense in the world,
Well,
arguably.
yeah,
Um, a few chances, but for the most part, it looked very even. Some areas, though, however, which didn't look even from my eyes, was Kvaratskhelia cooking Mosquera.
cooking's a strong word. I thought Mascara was pretty good most of the game.
I
Yeah,
thought
until the penalty, I think he was really good.
when I saw that the team sheet come out on my way home, I was like, if Kvara and is against Mosquera, this is going to be a long day for Mosquera, and it sort of was, but also he did hold his ground a fair bit as well.
I mean, the thing is,
But
right, from a neutral standpoint, Mosquera is actually really, really good, and he's versatile. Like, he's very versatile because he's very good as both a centre back and a right back.
he wasn't.
And
He's
people
not
don't really
Timber.
realise that.
But he's not Timber, which is why I don't.
No, of course not. No.
And I think I think there's a lot of controversies in that game. I think the Saka one's a bit tedious. We spoke about the Mendes and Madueke one the other day, and
Yeah.
how that on no planet is that a penalty. That is a fifth. That's a very fair 50-50
The thing is,
in
it's up
my
for
eyes.
debate. It's like people view it differently, but the thing is, Madueke did grab Nuno Mendes first, but you could argue that Nuno Mendes also took down Madueke. So
The
Go,
fact
that's
it was
realistic.
Eze and Gabriel missing couldn't have been any better.
Yeah,
I do. It's gonna be a weird thing to say because it was coming, but in a way I do feel for Gabriel because I think he was by far man of the match until
yeah, he was
Yeah.
unreal.
until
So for
that.
me, he is the best. He is the best centre back in world football. Like
I
he is
disagree
just
there.
a joke. Really?
Yeah, I do disagree there.
Who do you
think
think
Is
is the
that
best?
agenda though, Lewis? Is that agenda or is it?
A
I
bit of
think
both.
Pacho's developing a case.
I've always said I think Pacho is the best defender.
I
in
still
I
the
think
think Pacho's
Gabriel's
the
proved that he's just like he's always pretty consistent, and like for me, he's been the best centre back in the world for the past year and a half,
Pacho's
maybe.
definitely got a case. He's now definitely well and truly got a case. Like I think he will become a fantastic centre back. Like
I
even
mean,
more. I think he'll
ready,
improve
but
even further.
yeah, I mean the things with Pacho, he is already, and he's proven that he's obviously very good with the ball, and he can, handle the pressure in big moments. But for me, Gabriel's just that level above, really. And that's a lot for me to say because I don't like Gabriel whatsoever. I think he's a knob, but
if anybody does.
he is just like I can't even argue over the fact that he's just a ridiculously good centre back.
But it was another moment where I could sit down and type in every football group chat I'm in and say today football won because it did. The best team, in my opinion, prevailed. The more fun team to watch prevailed, and I think those players absolutely deserved it. And it was a fantastic watch as an Arsenal hater. And we'll
crazy.
just hope that it doesn't fuel Arsenal to go on a generational run and cook everyone next year.
Oh, I think they'll win the league again next year.
Yeah,
They're definitely the most stable club right now.
yeah, they're the most consistent team by country mile.
Yeah, I mean everyone around them have got a new manager,
Yeah,
and everybody like all three of our clubs in this chat, like in this call, are starting next season with new managers. Well,
yeah.
I say we're practically. I mean, we've had 6 games under De Zerbi, so I'm counting that.
So yeah, pretty much everyone here has and will have a new manager next year. Cody, have you had a look
What's up?
into who's going to be taking over Glasgow?
Sorry.
Have we got any Have we got any news on a successor to Glasgow?
I think so. I think it's the Lons manager.
So
Yeah, I saw that as well.
me,
I think that's
Emmett
pretty
and
much
James.
confirmed.
Emmett and James are talking about the new Lons manager. I mean, James
Yeah.
already talks about him like he's the best thing since sliced bread,
He is. That's why this.
and I just
PSH. That's his name.
yeah, PSH. Do you think he will succeed?
Well, I don't really know much about him to be honest, because I haven't really been keeping up the last few weeks. But I mean, Lons are second in the league, so
Yeah, they're only 5 points behind PSG as well.
yeah,
And they
it's
won the
not
French
not
Cup,
bad.
so yeah, they've got. I'm pretty sure Lons have like what's his name? Malang Sarr, that's it. He was at
Oh,
Chelsea about
absolutely.
5 years
Yeah,
ago
he
and
was
just didn't play a game.
fantastic last
Yeah, he's
year.
the one that Poch forgot about when they were asked a question about it, and he completely forgot he existed.
Yeah.
I
Oh, God.
talking about Champions League final. You weren't here last week, Ben. I did mention Madueke not taking a penalty in that final. How do you feel about it after obviously the stuff that happened 4-0 up against Everton not too long ago?
Well, I'm very surprised that he didn't. Would he have missed? Probably not. And he celebrated like he's been an Arsenal fan all his life, and that he took. And I'm not really surprised. I'm really not surprised that he didn't take one. Havertz, he's now getting into Lukaku territories of hate. By the way, in my eyes, like he's not very good at football, in my opinion.
He's quite good.
He's decent. He does
No,
his job.
and he kisses. He's the most unloyal football player I've seen since Lukaku.
Just
Like
because he
he's
takes
kissing.
you.
Well, he was kissing the Chelsea badge a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but your fans hated him.
I think you're just mad, Ben. To be honest.
Yeah, and I think it's becoming even more of a hate now because he didn't. I wouldn't say apart from winning us the Champions League, I don't think he justified the money we
Yeah, but he's
spent.
giving Chelsea fans a taste of their own medicine. Like you said, he quite literally won you the Champions League final. And then Chelsea fans were giving him stick for God knows how long. He leaves, goes to a club where he's actually being, praised by the fans. He's being loved by their fans. And
I
then he
did
scores
predict
against
that he
Chelsea.
would score. I did predict that he would score in the Champions League final as well. I said to a few of my mates from back home, I was like, "You watch Kai Havertz score the first goal of the final.
Really good finish as well.
It's a
Great finish.
fantastic finish, yeah. You can't really do much better from where he was.
I did say, though, the goal was a bit controversial because it does ricochet off of Trossard's arm.
It
Yeah.
does.
But it's not really like he could do much about it.
But I have a question on an international football level. After what I watched this morning, well, I had to watch it this morning. I watched the England game, or little bits of the England game this morning, and
Don't even get me started.
two things I learned from this. One, I've got to give an applause to Rio Engamara, by the way. 17 years old, and he was by far the best player on the pitch.
In the second half, yeah.
But secondly, am I right and am I justified to have the feeling that I'm very, very worried to how this tournament will go for England? Because
I don't.
it
The thing is,
wasn't
I don't think
pretty.
it's much to worry about, if I'm honest, because the thing is, these friendly games are kind of games that obviously help us decide what our starting 11 is going to be for the World Cup. But I think in some cases it also kind of helps us. Like, I feel like it kind of helps us deal with the temperature and stuff, because obviously it's going to be absolutely boiling over in America. So being able to cope with the temperature is going to be one of the most important things for teams at the World Cup. And I think having those games is only going to benefit England. And the fact we won, I think, I mean, it's obviously positive that we won, but there are quite a few negatives I can point out. We weren't great on the
brilliant,
attack.
but these are warm-up games for a reason. Like,
Yeah,
I think they're just mainly for fitness, to be honest.
yeah, their fitness, getting the players playing together, and just seeing last-minute changes to the team. Anybody that can sneak in, because there's still a few positions that are like a bit dubious on who.
After that performance, maybe Jed Spence.
Jed Spence's cross for the goal was really good.
I'm still not convinced on Jed Spence. Like, he's just a bit.
Oh,
he's
not.
poo for
He's
me.
not. He's not poo. I don't think he's poo. I don't think he's a starter at all. But
No.
I do think he's earned his right to go. I'm not going to say he deserved to go.
I still think that's a bit controversial. Like, he
I
can be
would
good.
say it's like Paul. I disagree.
Yeah.
I don't
Lewis
think
Hall
he
is
was ever.
twice the footballer Jed Spence is.
I don't think he was ever going over Lewis Hall. Like the fact that Gerald, I don't know why Kwanzaa's not being questioned more.
I think it's just because like people don't really watch the Bundesliga, so they can't really comment on
Yeah.
how well Konsa's played this season. Obviously, Tuchel can because well, he's Joe, and I'm guessing he watches the Bundesliga quite a lot.
Yeah, but certain other players that aren't getting questioned, but Spence is good. Like Spence is coming as left back, right back cover. That's all he's coming as.
Yeah,
That's all we need him for. He can come on last few minutes for Nico O'Reilly, and that's the same reason why Livramento is also coming, because he is left back, right back cover. He also deserves it more than Spence.
Do we need both?
I mean, it helps to have both. Like,
yeah.
if we'd bought Lewis Hall would have played one game maybe. Like Nico O'Reilly is by far the starter,
Oh yeah.
and it's the same as it's the same as on the other side. There's no way anyone's starting over Reece James. So we know who our starters are, and there's no point bringing Lewis Hall.
I think there's no point because if
I mean, yeah, there is a point in bringing your best players.
yeah, but
But
obviously if Nico
if-
O'Reilly gets injured, Luke Hall, Lewis Hall is a much better option than a Jed Spence at left
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. I just feel like you need replacements in like fixed positions rather than having versatile play. Well, it's obviously
A
great
balance,
having
I
versatile
reckon.
players,
Balance
but the thing is, like you look at players like you mentioned, like a Livramento who can play right back and left back. You don't need a load of those players, and I feel like you could have easily picked someone that's better than Jed Spence in that England team, like you say, a Lewis Hall who can play left
Yeah.
back if Nico O'Reilly gets injured, or dare
I
I say,
like-
dare I say, like a Mitchell from Palace.
Oh, Tyreek Mitchell
a
at
Mitchell
the
from
World Cup.
Palace.
I'd love to see it.
It could be good, a Mitchell from Palace, but I just feel like Spence going. I'm not saying he deserves to go over Hall because he doesn't, and I don't get how Hall hasn't been called up. But I don't think the Spence call up is as crazy as people are making it sound, because he is also very, very good one-on-one defensively.
Yeah.
That's where he's best.
Yeah,
I think people are just looking at it like Lewis Hall hasn't gone and Jed Spence has. That's why they're
Oh yeah,
picking on Spence.
I
Henderson as
think
well, he's getting it. Going over like
it's another one.
but even then,
Henderson-
Henderson had a good season at Brentford, so I'm not really sure why people are.
I also
criticising.
think we need that maturity in midfield. Like we need experience in midfield because we have got very young midfield.
Yeah,
Like, because the second oldest player I think is Declan Rice. We've got a lot of like early 20s.
He's 27, right?
midfielders. Is he 27 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, other than him, it's the oldest player is 22. They're all still.
Would you have taken Henderson or Wharton?
But this is what I mean. Like, if you're saying stuff like that, then yeah,
Yeah.
what needs to go. But if you've got if Tuchel's made a criteria and be like, oh, I can only have a certain amount of players at a certain age,
Yeah.
and he's now deciding between he can bring two of Mainu, Anderson, and Wharton. Let's say that's his decision to make.
Yeah.
That's got nothing to do with Henderson. He knows he needs to bring like at least two experienced midfielders. Rice has filled one of those, so the other one goes to Henderson.
Yeah.
I do get the logic in it, and yet again, if Wharton had come, I don't know. If Wharton had come, there would have been no need for Anderson, Wharton, and Mainu all coming together. Well, I mean, we can move on to another game from last night.
yeah. USA Germany. Emmett, thoughts on that?
So I have a couple of thoughts. First of all, I think 2-1, all things considered, isn't a terrible result against Germany. Um,
Yeah,
I think the first goal was rough. I really think it was Miles Robinson looked like he got just kind of rooted in place, and Kai Havertz threw him a dummy or whatever. But I really think we need to be defending set pieces better than that. But I think we showed a lot of resilience after that to sort of stay in the game and sort of keep fighting and sort of keep
yeah,
playing. And me and Lewis were having sort of this discussion while we were watching the game. Is a very interesting, very fluid formation between a 5-back and a 4-back, which I thought was very interesting because on paper it was a 5-back with Dest and Robinson as the wing backs. But then after we conceded for long sort of stretches of time, it looked like Dest got moved into a winger role. And I think that fluidity is something that it looks like we could use to our advantage. Like if we're able to, you know, use Dest in that way as like a pivot between a winger and a wing back, the ability to change formations like that, I think we can catch teams out.
yeah,
Which I think was really interesting because at times it was really difficult to tell whether it was a 4 or a 5-back, which I don't actually hate. And the midfield, like obviously you've got Adams sat just in front of your center backs, but I think between McKennie and Tillman, I think it was very fluid who was a 10 and who was sort of supporting Adams deeper. And I think
mm,
a very fluid formation like that is supportive of the way that we like the composition of players that we have available to us. So I think that was very positive. And like I said, I think the biggest takeaway for me was how resilient we were to fight back after giving up quite a fairly shit goal, to be honest. But like we didn't get in our heads about it, and we kind of kept fighting. And then absolute banger of a goal from Anthony Robinson, um,
yeah,
and then
Piss missile.
it really was. It was a great goal. And then I think moving on from there to concede a second, it happens. Germany are a good side, and I think we were always sort of tipped to lose that game. And I don't think it was ever really about winning that game, but I think it was about proving that we can take the game to teams like Germany, and I do think we did that. Um, and I think we had a lot of players who aren't necessarily our starting 11 who look to do that. Like there are definitely drop offs in positions. Thinking of like Austin and Aronson and Pepe and players like these who are they're still really good players, but they're not sort of the number ones. But I
yeah,
thought even against Germany, they still showed that they can still do it, and I think that was one of the bigger standouts. Is I had a lot of questions about sort of our depth going into the World Cup, and I think both the game against Senegal last weekend and then the game in Soldier Field last night, I think has sort of helped there. I mean, we still have Gio Reyna. I don't know what he's doing here still.
I thought he had a pretty good game yesterday. I thought when he came on, he was actually quite good.
Yeah, he wasn't terrible. But just overall, I just don't understand how he's, like I said last week, I don't understand how you're not playing at a club level and you're still able to be called up to your national team. I just don't understand
Yeah,
like how he's gotten this call up. I really don't. You have plenty of other players who are consistently playing who deserve a chance.
yeah. And I'll tell you what, another player that I thought was really good in the game yesterday as well for the US was that what's his name, Berhalter.
Yeah, Sebastian Berhalter, as
He is very good.
I think hopefully after this World Cup, I hope he gets a move somewhere in Europe.
Correct me
Yeah,
if I'm wrong. Is he the set piece guy?
Yeah, he's the set piece guy. He is
he's
our best
very
set
good
piece
in my opinion.
taker. But I think in this last international window, because I think even against Senegal, he showed that he's got a little bit more to his game than just set pieces. Because I always had him going because he needed to be our guy taking the set pieces because we have no one else to take a set piece. But I think he
Yeah.
showed that he can kind of he hacks it in the midfield as well. He was sort of taking players on and
Yeah.
making things happen. And I wouldn't hate Berhalter starting next to Adams. If we play like a 4-2-3-1, I wouldn't hate to see Berhalter start next to Adams and McKennie play a 10. I really don't think that would be a terrible sort of line to play with, because Adams is just so good and very solid in front of center backs. And then
Oh yeah.
Berhalter, if he's receiving the ball deep, he has the vision and he's got the ability to play some of those long balls. And I think he's shown that he can sort of play in more of an 8 role and take the ball and carry it up the field a bit more. And then I think Weston McKennie has always been a very solid number 10 for us.
Strong motor, big motor guy. McKennie.
And the one thing I
Runs
really like
for days.
about McKennie, McKennie's always been really versatile. Like for Juve, I'm pretty sure he's played in about 5 or 6 different positions this season. I know he's played right back, wing back, centre mid, DM, in the 10, even some games as a striker. Like it, those type of players, it's a manager's dream, really. And I feel
They
like that's
grow
going to benefit the US a lot this summer.
Yeah, I don't think the US has ever really taken advantage of that versatility, because he's only ever really played the midfield, maybe a little bit as sort of like a second striker, number 10. But he
Yeah,
only ever really plays as an 8 or a 10 for us. Which I'm not mad at, because I think he's one of our better players in those positions. There's no need to kind of try and fit him in as a piece outside of that if it's not working in midfield, really, because there's no need in my eyes, really.
no.
But yeah,
Anyway,
go on.
I was going to say, obviously, 2-1 against Germany it's not the worst result in the world. And we were speaking about this last episode where obviously the US's group in comparison to Germany is a lot easier in my opinion. Like you've got Australia, you've got who is it, Turkey, and you've got Paraguay.
Yeah.
Like on paper, you should realistically be getting at least second.
Yeah, and I think, like we said last time, I think really anything but winning that group is going to be seen as a bit of a letdown. I think Turkey's really the only wild card there, but really Australia and Paraguay should both be teams that we're beating, especially I think if we're able to take the game to Germany like we did. And, on paper it's a loss, yes, but I think sort of the atmosphere coming out of that game should be positive for fans of the US team, because I think we showed a lot of strengths to
Yeah,
to play against a Germany that, is maybe not as good as Germany have been in the past, but is still a very solid German side and are nothing to, just eyes gloss over. And, we gave them a game, it was,
oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah,
and so I think that is what makes that a positive showing, regardless of what the scoreboard shows at the end of the day.
yeah. Cody and Ben, I was going to ask you because you weren't here last episode.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win the World Cup, and who are your dark horses?
That's been tough questions. Um,
Can you call Portugal a dark horse?
No, no,
I think
because
they are
Portugal are one of the favourites.
they are going to be
I
brilliant.
think Portugal have a real good chance to win.
That midfield is the best
It's
midfield
insane.
that I've seen in an international level in a long, long time.
I reckon,
Vitinha, Bruno Fernandes, and João Neves. That is, there's not many better than that.
Mate, Anderson, Rice, and Bellingham clears that.
Oh, well, so I believe the
mate,
betting
Morton
favourites
Rice and
are.
Bellingham clears that.
You see,
I
I think Spain are going to win it, just because I feel like Spain play better as a team in comparison to a lot of other teams that might have
So
better players.
the favourites by the bookies are Spain, I believe. I I think it will come down to. I think France are up there for me. Like that
I've
attack
got France
is
winning it.
stunning. That attack is fantastic.
Yeah,
I think this is a. I think it will be a huge World Cup for Yamal. I think it's very important that Yamal does well here.
Yeah,
But I think I'm going to say France to win. It's hard to ignore
France to win.
that level of talent. Yes, I don't
Okay.
think. I know it's going to sound really downer of me, but I don't think England will make it very far. I think.
No.
And that's fair
If-
enough. And I was looking at the pathway. So if we come first, and then obviously we win the round of 32, and then we win the round of 16, the chances are is that we play Spain in the quarterfinals. So that's when things I feel like start to get a bit shaky for us because as a team, Spain are better. But I feel like
So if we top our group, what route in the bracket will we go?
so
Do you know?
we go. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure we play. I think it's the runner-ups of Group E. I think from what I remember.
I'm going to put my computer on to have a look at the bracket.
I'll tell you. So the other question: who do you think the dark horses are going to be?
Oh,
So I'm classifying dark horses not a massive team, so not like a Portugal, France, England, Argentina, not that type of team, but a smaller team who you think is going to over exceed
I
and do a
think
lot better than people think they're going to do.
I think Turkey are in the World Cup,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I think they will be
We said
brilliant.
this last time though. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure a
Turkey are the
lot of
dark
people
horse
said
of
last
every
time. I actually thought about it, and I'm gonna go very, very rogue, and I just feel like they're gonna do more than people think. I don't think they're gonna make it incredibly far, but people have written them off already. I feel, and I said DR Congo. I can
DR
see
Congo.
I can see a cheeky little DR Congo qualification to the round of 16.
What? So get past the round of 32 and into the round of 16.
teams when they get grouped.
I can just see them beating Colombia to it.
Fair enough.
Colombia don't excite me as a team, other than maybe Luis Diaz.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like I said last time, I've got a couple of dark horses. And obviously I was speaking to you and Emmett about it. But Ben, these are my dark horses, right? So I feel like Japan. So I was talking about Japan last week and how,
Oh, in the last World Cup. Oh my goodness.
and I just have a feeling.
That's now.
I was talking to a couple other friends yesterday about this, and I've got an outrageous take for Japan, but I just have a gut feeling I just have a feeling it's going to happen. I have a really, really weird suspicion that Japan will make the semi-finals, and you
Wow.
can comment all you want, but like the thing is with Japan is that I've seen a few friendlies that they've played in the past year or so, and obviously the players they've got now. I just have a really weird feeling that they're going to do really, really well and be the next sort of Morocco from
Yeah.
last tournament or like a
They're
Costa
very
Rica from
well
2014.
organised, Japan.
In terms of the World Cup, who do you think, like, besides like a sort of like for me, it would be Japan and Morocco because for me, Morocco just have. I feel like they'll do really well again, but also I feel as though they have a better team this tournament than they did in the last World Cup.
yeah,
So-
I like my dark horse by looking. I think my dark horse is going to be Norway.
Norway,
I like Norway.
yeah,
I
I think that's
really
pretty justified.
and the youngest team going to this World Cup, the Ivory Coast. I think they will do brilliant. I
Yeah,
think
they've
they
got a
can
good
do really
team.
well.
That's mine. I've gone Ivory Coast.
I'll tell you what, one player that I'm
Yeah,
really looking
listen,
forward to seeing, especially for the Ivory Coast, is Yan Diomande.
I want to
Because
see
he's
if
he's so in demand.
I
Yeah.
want to see if he's going to be worth all the money, and he's about to have a chance that puts himself on the world stage. I want to
I
see him
think he'll want to
absolutely
prove
put.
himself.
But
depends what you say.
my dark horse is Norway. I think their team
Norway
is
are currently
really
losing.
good.
Are they?
Yeah, currently losing to Morocco.
You've heard about what's happened to Christian Eriksen in the last hours?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
unfortunately.
really unfortunate. I mean, you know,
Via the last update, he walked. He's done a bit of. He's conscious. He's walking, and he's talking to people.
I mean that's the most important
Um,
thing. So long as he's
uh,
okay, that's the most important thing.
his pacemaker is doing just as it should be. It could be the heat that's getting to him.
Yeah,
The Danish aren't going to the World Cup, so this will be a one-off kind of thing for Ericsson. But I am so pleased that he's okay.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It was a scary moment when it happened initially. It's as a fan,
Yeah, it's not a nice thing to see, and
it's a
obviously
horrible
you hope
thing to
he's
watch.
okay.
And he come back and he was brilliant. And I was so pleased that he got back playing again, because some people after that kind of knock don't actually come back and play again. But
No,
it's
I
a
mean,
big deal to see him back. And after what's happened today, yes, I feel for him heavily, and I wish him the most speedy of recoveries, which I'm sure he will have.
yeah,
If he comes back again and starts playing good ball again, because you don't like to see that on the football pitch.
no, of course not. I mean, yeah. I mean, like I say, so long as he's okay, that's the most important thing.
I
Forward.
did hear in other news that there was apparently a shooting right next to England's training camp.
Really?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just read that. Yeah, just read it. Very.
I mean, what a shocker.
Mm. Can I
Jesus.
ask you something, George, on
Yeah, of course.
a Man City level? Kusanov. I have been watching. I don't know why I've taken to watching old highlights and going through and slowing things down to like watch how people play. Kusanov
Yeah,
is a monster.
I know.
He's a freak. He honestly is one of my favourite players to watch.
I mean, the
I've
one thing
been
I love about
watching.
Kusanov is that to me he's very sort of old-fashioned. Like,
He's
yes,
not
he's
scared
very good with the ball, but
at
he's
the
not scared
leg.
to put in a challenge. Like, he's very
He's
physical.
he's
He doesn't.
quick as well.
Yeah, he's rapid.
His first like 5-10 yards. He's different. I'm
Yeah.
As a City fan, you'd have looked at the 60 million you paid for him, 40, 60
No, it wasn't even.
million.
I think it was about 30 million.
Oh, that's a bargain then.
If
He's
that,
going to
it
be
might have even been
really.
20. I think.
He's honest. I think he will become a fantastic centre back. He's still
Yeah, I mean,
very raw in many senses,
yeah.
but he's a freak athlete.
Oh
He's
yeah.
brilliant in the air. 6'2", 6'3", something like
Six
that.
foot one, I think actually.
He's
He's a
old
similar height to
won't
Mark Gay.
measurements,
But like I say,
but
the things
he's a
about Kuznov
freak.
is that he'll only get better with experience. But
Mm.
the one thing that I think sort of holds him back a little bit at the moment is I think he becomes a bit too sort of. I think he's a bit overly aggressive, and
That's not a problem though.
in some cases that can be a good thing, but in other cases, like especially in big games like cup finals or just big games throughout the season in general, like being overly aggressive can cost you. So
Mm.
he needs to sort of control it in a sense. And I think, like I say, like he'll learn to do that with experience. So give it a couple
Is
of
it
years or
Nick?
so, and he'll be
Or is
ridiculously good.
I think the coach of Uzbekistan is Fabio
Fabio
Cannavaro.
Cannavaro, yeah,
Yeah.
So it doesn't. There's not many better teachers than Cannavaro, but I think
as a defender, no,
Gahey's who I think has got a very big task on his hand this World Cup. By the way, Gahey's going to have a big job on his hands. He's
you can say that about
a
anyone.
ball player. Well, he's got to lead that back line. I'll tell you that, because we're going to have Konza and someone. I imagine it will be the back three of Konza, Gahey, and someone. But we
We'll
don't know
play
who
back four.
the person is.
We'll most
Oh,
Well, he
likely
did
play
it
back
fine
four.
in the Euros.
But so Gahey's the ball player, but Kusanov's your like Swiss Army knife, kind of like slasher kind of defender. And
Yeah,
I think he's definitely going to be in a good position to take over from a Ruben Diaz when
yeah.
Ruben Diaz leaves eventually.
Speaking of Ruben Diaz leaving, I've heard rumours that he is going to leave in the summer. Because Atletico Madrid and Barcelona were looking at buying him.
And Rodri as well. Rodri's being talked about.
Yeah, but this has been the case for God knows how long. I mean, Rodri's been linked with a move away from City for the past year, maybe 2 years, and Real
Yeah.
Madrid obviously want him. And Rodri's made it clear that he wants that if Real Madrid come in for him, then he'd be more than happy to go. So, by all means, like he's been really, really good for the club over the past 7 years he's been there. So
Yeah, 2019, I think. was
like
Rodri.
if he wants to leave, so be it. But yeah, like, obviously he'll be a massive miss. But there's not really much you can do if he wants to go back to Spain.
Speaking of the Real Madrid, have you seen how crazy this presidential race is?
Mate,
I
it's
know what
cra-
the hell is going on.
The Elise, I think I might have sent it in the group chat, but Elise, but Bayern's camp have clapped back to what has been said in the media
about Michael Elise.
by Michael Elise. By the way, Michael Elise on Real Madrid would be absolutely disgusting. By the way, that attack, it would.
I don't think
would
it'd
be the
work.
best- It wouldn't work, but it'd be the best attack in Europe. With the names
On paper, yeah,
they
but it wouldn't work.
They are the best. They would be. That would be with Bellingham, but that's the best four. That's the best. That's the best attack in Europe. If
On paper. But the thing is, you look at like that PSG team back in the day, and you had Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi, and on paper that was one of the best attacks of all time, but it just never worked because you've got too many egos in one team.
The statement from Bayern's side said that they are not a selling club, so Bayern have put their foot down and have gone no, for no amount of money he will go, and I don't blame him after the amazing season that Elise has had.
Yeah,
And it has been having, and the nonchalant memes that are coming from it as well.
he needs to stop doing that. It's been going on for far too long. He just needs to.
But he is incredible. He's one of the best players on the planet. I think that Bayern should have him as a pillar for the future, and I'm pleased that they're going to shut down this rumor. If Real Madrid are crazy and want to break that transfer record of 220, is it 225 for Neymar? Or was it 200?
222.
If they break that, if I'm buying, I'm saying knock your bloody socks off. You take it. You take it for 230 million.
No, but the thing is, if you take into consideration the season that Michael Elise has had, if I was Ollie Hoeneß, the Bayern president, I pretty much just consider him as untouchable at the moment because he's had a ridiculous season. He's only gonna get better. Like you might as well build the team around him because Harry Kane's not going to be around for much longer.
But for 230 million pounds,
I still wouldn't take it.
Right. Oh, well, in my eyes, I would build around him. I would like to see him become the leader of that Bayern team because I don't think Musiala, who
he's too injury prone. I
wanted
think
it to be, because it would have been too perfect for him to be, too fitting for him to be the leader. But I think Elite's the main guy there. I think him and Kane. I don't think you'd let him go for any amount of money. But if they spoke in the range of 2 to 250 million, if I was buying, I'd be thinking about that.
Yeah.
I don't think for 150 million. I think you should tell him to do one for that money, because 150 million we've seen gets you pretty much gets you Enzo Fernandez in this reality. But having said that, it would be very cool to see him go to Madrid. But I'm really hoping he stays. I'm really, really hoping he stays. I'm hoping this lunatic actually sorts out some decent signings for them instead of going absolutely crazy. I mean, Enzo Fernandez has been spoken about in terms of £135 million. And I didn't think we'd make profit on Enzo Fernandez, but if they want to pay that much amount of money, we'll take that and we'll take a bit of profit and run. But yeah, I think it'll be very, very interesting to see what goes on with that presidential debate, and I'm sure that'll be the topic of our conversation next week if we want to continue on this next week.
This has been Ben, George, Cody, and Lewis with a production team of Emmett, Sarah, and Millie.